What is up, everybody? DanDanTheFireman out here, riding around, having a great time, and I want to talk about 7 stupid mistakes beginner motorcycle riders make. Now, I don't want you making these mistakes, so if you're a brand new rider, pay attention. I got sun to my back, probably crazy on this, but we're gonna go ahead and start talking. All right, so number 1, the Dunning-Kruger effect. It's like, what the heck is that, Dan? What is that? Well, the Dunning-Kruger effect is basically saying that you feel, and I'm saying you, but you feel that you're smarter than you really are. And that blinds you to the limitations that you currently have in whatever skill it is that we're talking about. And we're talking about motorcycle riding here. So basically, ego, a bad ego. Having confidence is very important, but having an ego, a bad one, is gonna limit a lot of stuff. So here's the thing, here's the quick tip that I want you to have. Have the beginner's mind in mind, all right? So have the beginner's mind. So what that means is that you're constantly always in awe, like always trying to learn, always trying to, figure out what the next thing is. Never feel like you know everything. And if you ever find out you do, or if you ever feel like you do, reevaluate where you are. Check yourself before you wreck yourself, literally, on motorcycles, okay? So ego gets in the way of learning. Don't do that. Always take a class. Redo another class if you feel like it. Don't feel like you don't need to practice. You always need to practice. Trust me, you do. And don't let Dunning-Kruger get in front of you, okay? All right, so riding in shorts and sandals, I see that all the time. Guys, I'm wearing full gear at GAT, all right? Smart riders acquire and utilize personal protective equipment. So that's what I want you to do. I want you to be a smart rider. I want you to ride around with these smart rider principles. Live it, learn it, be it. So get some gear. We do have a list in the description for gear. It's a RevZilla affiliate. Great place to get some gear, very inexpensive. They have a great beginner list, and they always keep things in stock for that kind of stuff. But riding in shorts and sandals, the reason why you don't want to do that is if you do crash, which I don't like the whole it's not if but when. I hate that. I hate it. I hate it. Hate it. That implies that you're gonna. I don't like that. That ruins people's confidence. Screw that phrase. Don't listen to that. It's all about practice, practice, practice. Train like your life depends on it, because it really does. So if something does happen, for whatever reason, because you had a lapse in judgment, or you failed your fundamental skills, or whatever, have gear as a backup. It is your safety net. It's gonna mitigate as much as you possibly can get, okay? So here's a few quick injuries that typically happen, okay? So broken bones, that sounds pretty severe, but bones heal 8 weeks, 8 to 12 weeks, depending. So I'd rather break a bone than snap ligaments, remove nerve endings. I'd rather do that. So nerve endings, let's talk about that. Road rash. So you got level 1, level 2, level 3. Level 1, think of it as like a burn, or when you hear first degree, second degree, third degree burns, same thing with road rash. Okay, so first degree road rash is going to be like a very small, like rug burn, like you rubbed your knees on the ground, or you're like sliding at home at the baseball field, and it's not completely ripping your skin yet. It's just kind of, ooh, that's a little red. That is like a first degree. Now, you get a lot of that on a road rash, and you can still get that with gear, okay? So just realize that, the thermal transfer. We could talk more about that in a future video if you want. And then second degree, that's gonna be when you start removing that nerve ending, start removing a little bit of flesh, and that's gonna be like that raspberry you get sliding into home base, and you get like that blood flow, the oozy blood flow. Not very good. It happens all the time here. And it kind of looks a little bit white when you get it on the road. Now, third degree, that's a no-brainer. We got some left turners here. I got to pay attention real quick. I'm going to go ahead and present myself. All right. So third degree is when you completely remove the skin, and now you're getting into a little bit of the fleshy flesh. And that's not good, and you'd need to go to the hospital for level 2 and level 3. So we don't want to deal with that. So don't ride in shorts and don't ride in sandals. You're going to lose some toes. You're going to lose some flesh. And it's not worth it. I'd rather sweat than bleed, so wear gear, all right? So here's another thing, taking turns way too fast, okay? Now we could talk about left turns like right here at intersections, and then you used to get that low side because it's a 90-degree turn, and we're kind of at a stop, and then we have to gun it. Well, you're gonna get too much tire rotation and not enough traction, causing things to kind of slip out from underneath you. And that's a pretty simple thing to explain, especially out here in town. When we're out though in the mountains and twists, we're doing kind of the same thing, but we're not too concerned about that low side too much. What's happening is we're taking it too fast, and we start to go wide, boom! Exit the corner the wrong way, going off a cliff, or hitting the sign, or hitting a guardrail. because we went too fast. We didn't do enough counter steering. We didn't do enough anything, and we're having issues with that. So make sure we're not doing that. And then we do have low side issues when it comes to that, because then you try to compensate and you try to get the bike super far leaned down and then it just washes out. So taking turns too fast, how do we mitigate that, everybody? We talked about gear, how to mitigate injuries. How do we mitigate taking turns too fast? Well, it's in the name. Take it a little bit slower. Slow look, press, and roll. Before it turns, slow down. So let's do this. So I'm gonna slow down now, and it's a yellow light. Well, I gotta stop. Anyways, I'm slowing down, and then I was gonna take the turn at under 20 miles per hour. I wasn't gonna take the turn 35 or 40 like the speed limit. I was gonna do slow down. I was gonna look where I needed to go, press initiate counter steering, and then roll the throttle to get out. So make sure you do that when you're out riding. We do have plenty of videos on Dan the Fireman that kind of explains why you need to do it, because we see people crashing on those and explain all these different things, okay? All right, so the next thing is leaving without looking. Hey, this is a good spot for that. So if I'm over here and I decide just to look this way and I don't look anywhere else, who knows? The car could be coming. So I'm just staring this way and I'm gonna leave. Well, I didn't look. So that typically happens when you're out in a parking lot and you try to exit the parking space, or you exit any type of intersection. So you have to look where you want to go, which is a huge thing. So I'm looking this way, but I'm also looking for any type of pertinent hazards. I'm looking for any type of pertinent hazards, which are hazards that are definitely very important to look at. You know, a hazard like the sun going out, you know, in a couple billion years is a hazard, but it's not something that's pertinent to me. So that's kind of what makes sense with that. But make sure you leave while you're looking everywhere. Look at the ground, look at left or right, look at what needs to be looked at, because cars do surprise you. You have that unintentional blindness easily for yourself, but cars also have it. So make sure you look before you leave. Now, number 5, using one brake. That's a no bueno, okay? You got 2 brakes for a reason. You got 2 tires, okay? The front brake is very important. You get a lot of good progressive brake pressure, a lot of weight on that front tire. It allows you to squeeze, more, grab, okay? That's very simple. Now, the rear tire also does that when you're not trying to stop super fast, okay? So I know when I do this, it exaggerates, it goes in, but it still kind of slowly goes down on both tires. I mean, gravity, the weight of everything, it still works that way, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and squeeze that front brake while applying a little bit of front brake pressure. I'm gonna go ahead and downshift to second gear. This is a stoplight, stop sign. Get down to first gear because I'm gonna take off from a stop. Now leave while looking, okay? 4-way stop. Still looking, now looking at the ground, looking at the exit. And we're out and about, okay? So use both brakes, okay? On cruisers, it's about 60-40, 70-30. So 70-30, 60-40. On sport bikes, it's about 80-20, 90-10. But still, you're leaving 10 to 20% of braking power off the table. Now, when you get more and more on that front tire, go ahead and utilize more and more front brake, a little bit less of this, okay? Because you don't have a lot of weight on that rear tire. So, use both brakes, okay? So right now I got a tinted visor. It's like a little a chromed visor, you know, iridium. But here's the thing: when you're out riding at night, you don't want this. Okay? Right now, this is like sunglasses. Okay, nobody wears sunglasses at night unless you're in the 80s music video, 90s music video. But the thing is, you don't want to get caught out at night with sunglasses. So what I like to do is in my backpack and saddlebag when I'm on my FTR, I have a pair of just clear shop glasses that have, you know, the foam so that no air can get in. So if I get caught out at night with this helmet, I just pop it up and then I put on the glasses and now I can see really well. So that is what you want to do. You want to, ooh, this is a nice parking lot. Let's go and practice my U-turns real quick. Okay? See if I can make it within, let's say 2 or 3. All right, 1, 2, and woo. Ooh, that was fun. Let's do a U-turn. So tinted visors at night, no bueno. All right, anyways, let's just get out of here. I don't want to bother anybody. Vision is very, very, very important when it comes to riding motorcycles. You want to have the best vision possible. Let's go ahead and double check here. This person's turning left. They're waiting for that car. They are waiting for that pedestrian. Looking both ways, looking at the ground. Ooh, there's a lot of gravel there. Let's go ahead and get around it nice and easy and move on. All right, sorry guys, I get distracted way too easy. Another stupid mistake I see a lot of beginners making because they're not paying attention to it is their tires, and they're having bald tires, okay? You need traction, you need tread. You need everything in good working order. You need good PSI in the tires, the right PSI, the Goldilocks PSI. So here's the reason why, okay? So let's say bald tires, boom. If it rains, you have gravel, you have any type of substance that your tires need to utilize that tread to disperse it, and you have no tread, well, guess what? You lost traction, okay? Simple as that. You need tread on your tires. Look for the wear bars. Make sure that you're not getting close to them. If you are, replace those tires. Don't get down to the wires like I see a lot of people do. And I get it. It's expensive. Tires are expensive. But you got to do it. You got to do it. You only got 2 of them. You only got 2 of them. They're touching the ground. They're keeping you alive, okay? So the next thing is damage. So dry rot on the sides. You want to make sure you replace your tires. If you see dry rot or any cracks or anything like that, delamination of the tread, anything like that, okay? You also need to pay attention to if you have the right PSI in your tires, okay? So on the stem, where the VIN is, your VIN number, you're gonna see where it says front tire, rear tire, what PSI it's recommended. Now you're supposed to get tires that match that, okay? You're supposed to get tires that match the PSI on the bike, okay? If you wanna go out and buy tires and you don't care to match, and you get some random ass tires that can fit the rim, but not your bike, you might have issues, okay? Now you start playing around with some craziness. Just get tires that match the PSI that is recommended on the bike, and then just fill up the PSI that the bike recommends. How you doing, buddy? Don't go off the sidewall on where it says max PSI is like 20 something or 40, whatever it is, and just fill it straight to that. You fill it to the VIN, whatever it says on the VIN, where it says, you know, 23 or 33 or whatever PSI for front tire, rear tire. That is what you want to fill it up to. All right? So anyways, those are 7 stupid mistakes beginner motorcycle riders make. I hope you guys paid attention and don't make these mistakes. With that said, hit the subscribe button and I'll be seeing you around.